Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going over some more Subnautica 2 news. We're going to be reacting to the second dev vlog that came out a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to be going over a little bit of the Q&A that they did. I'm not going to be going through that whole video. I did watch it on my own already, but there's only a couple questions in that I wanted to talk about, I guess, but the majority of this is going to be the second dev vlog, going over that. So I think with all that being said, let's go ahead and head straight into that. Subnautica 2, baby.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
I'm Seth, Senior Narrative
What's up,
Designer
Seth?
on Subnautica 2, a sequel to the events of Subnautica, Subnautica Below Zero, and Natural Selection.
So it is also, well, I guess obviously it would be, because I was just thinking, you know, it's a sequel to Subnautica and Below Zero. I think Below Zero only takes place a couple of years after the first one, so it's not that long in between. So yeah, I guess it, makes sense that this would be a sequel to both of them. Also, Natural Selection as well. I didn't realize that they took place in the same universe. I haven't looked much into Natural Selection. I know that was their first, their first development thing, the first game that they made, basically. So, but I never played it. I never really looked much into it. Maybe I should. Maybe we should do some Natural Selection stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Last 3 years, it has been my privilege to help build our new world, a place of constant change, where the sea is alive and hungry, the rules of evolution are different, and alien DNA seeps into your bones. Here,
Yep.
you might be the last human being in the universe, or
Oh,
the
okay.
first member of something new. Speaking of universes, here is one of our world builders.
Hi,
Okay.
I'm Artyom, a level designer here at Unknown Worlds.
Artyom, I
helping
didn't know we
create
were
the
playing
world of Subnautica 2.
Metro
And
Exodus.
just like the previous two games, Subnautica 2 is entirely handcrafted. Our first
Nice.
step is to create a
Oh.
paper.
Okay, there's a lot of blurred out stuff there, but oh, story premise. Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I get. Yeah, definitely blur that out. World is intrinsically hostile. Cannot digest the food or breathe the air. Must modify your own biology to survive. Huh. Okay. Interesting. So you can't actually just eat the food like in the first two games. You can't just eat the food. Like, you can't cook it and eat the food. You have to DNA modify yourself. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious as to how that's gonna play out. This all looks pretty interesting so far. I can't read any of that. I can't see what that says. Markers and gear. All right.
After which, we use primitive shapes like blocks and cylinders to create a block out of the area. We make sure scale, depth, and progression all feel good. After which, we work with environment artists to create an asset kit. Rocks, plants, and anything we can use to set dress is made. We then refine the area before handing it off to other departments.
That is crazy.
One challenge we faced in Subnautica 2 was
entirely
assets,
handmade.
and that's because we chose not to use voxels in Subnautica 2 like the predecessors.
I don't know what that means.
That's when we came across Tor, a community member who made a plugin called Mesh Blend. It's a post-processing effect which blends pixels.
This world
along
looks really cool
asset
so far.
scenes based
It
on a
definitely looks like it seems. Sorry, that was a really weird stutter. It seems to me like kind of a mix between Subnautica and Below Zero, because these are giving me Twisty Bridge vibes, and then the rest of it is kind of, just like normal Subnautica stuff. So it's kind of like a mix between the two, at least so far, from what this looks like.
Along asset seams based on a preset blend size. It's not native to Unreal and something we're super excited to debut. Thank you so much, and I can't wait until you swim through our world.
Me too, bud.
Hey, I'm James Stout, environment artist
that's
on
fun.
Subnautica 2.
Oh, that's so fun. Oh, I love this. Oh, this is gonna be so exciting to get to in the game. Coral anemone, alright. Just a bunch of anemones. Okay, alright. Proteus? Okay, amphibia. Jelly plate. I'm just trying to take in all of this information. I want to see if there's anything I can actually see here.
2. I'll give a quick demo on how we create parts of the world.
My god, there's so much stuff here. Holy shit. Alright.
We
Interesting.
use a mixture of hand-sculpted and procedural workflows to create larger, complex assets. Here, I'm generating a juvenile variant of a larger organism you'll find in the world. This younger version is more squat than its mature siblings, so I'm using a procedural system we created in Blender to shorten the length of its tendrils.
There you go, Blender.
I pack a bunch of technical data into the model's vertex color channels. This technique helps us keep texture memory costs very low, even on a large asset.
Oh,
Tricks
okay.
like this help us keep the game running smooth on a wide
Cool.
range of hardware.
Yeah,
After getting this
that
creature
seems pretty
into the
useful.
engine, I'm moving over to working on biome terrain sculpting with a focus on naturalism. The world needs to feel like a world, and less like a diorama made for a player. It's a tricky balance. We take a lot of
Yeah.
our cues from Subnautica 1, where naturalism and gentle player direction are well tuned against each other. Finally, to bridge the difference in scale between fine sand and large rocky outcrops, I use Ben Hale's rubble meshes to push a more convincing result. I love sculpting rocks, but I could never pretend to enjoy it as much as Ben.
I make rocks. I'm always making rocks. Play any game and look in any direction and determine how much of the scene is rocks. Every rock tells a story. This is actually how I got hired. Saw me post a rock on Twitter. That's funny. Oh my god. Man, this guy really likes rocks, doesn't he? Oh my god. There's so much. I don't think I'm is that what that said? I don't think I'm a rock with heartbreak emojis. That's so sad. Rocks!
Hi all,
Oh
my
my
name's Ben
god.
Hale. I'm a senior environment artist here at Unknown Worlds. I have a special interest in natural geology.
Ooh, that's a cool
or
picture.
Rocks. I've developed a specific pipeline for this.
Tell us about the rocks,
project.
bud.
I'm
I wanna
using
know
a
all
series
about
of
the rocks.
interlocking meshes and displacement using a height map that I built inside of Substance Designer. Using the UVs, I'm able to offset and find details and general shapes that I find interesting. And then I'll do the final offset inside of ZBrush, which you can see here, as well as a final sculpting pass using various brushes, including some custom brushes that I built myself. Using this pipeline, we can do some
Damn,
really
I didn't know
crazy
you could-
things.
well, I
Here's
guess that
the
makes sense.
kit that I've developed for the project.
I don't know,
And
you can
these
make
rocks
custom
are
brushes
some of the
like
biggest
that.
I've ever made in my entire career. Our final poly count is usually around 700,000, sometimes breaking 1 million, but we
Damn.
try not to go over that. You can see how detailed it can get using our custom texturing pipeline. Here's a demonstration as well.
Oh, this
of
is all
mesh
above
blend
water.
Developed by Tor.
Huh,
Nordic,
okay, cool.
And it's pretty much changed how we do everything here. It's
So
just
it
black
seems
and
like,
white.
I mean, the islands, actually, there was a lot of, now that I think about it, there was a lot of above water stuff in
Fiction
both
as
games. But it seems like this is going to
of
be a lot
mesh blend.
more, like,
But we try not to go over.
well, I don't really know. I mean, it's just a bunch of rocks.
Here's a demonstration
I don't know
as
what else I
well.
could say.
Of Mesh Blend, developed by Tor Lurvik, and it's pretty much changed how we do everything here. It's just black magic. Here you can see a preview of some of our minerals.
Ooh,
This is using pretty much the same pipeline. Granted,
Okay.
it's more sculpting centric.
that looks cool.
Just as detailed.
I like that.
Thanks for taking a look. I hope you enjoy these rocks as much as I enjoyed creating. Take care.
Hey,
Thanks for
they're-
watching.
those are some good looking rocks, my guy. Those are some good looking rocks. I'm gonna be honest, dude. You did a damn good job at making those rocks.
Wanna know more?
Shit.
Come join our Discord and follow our social channels.
Oh, is this it?
See
Well,
you
I
soon,
guess, yeah.
Pioneer.
Cool. All right. Well, there we go. There's the second devlog. We got a lot of rocks. So that's fun. But yeah, we got a little bit of the world building, like literal world building, which is really cool. I like seeing all of the, you know, development, I guess. I like seeing how this goes, and I like that's why I like Subnautica too, is because they always release their games in early access. So you play the game when it's like not fully finished yet. There's still a bit to go. And you see how it develops over time, like as you're playing it. I don't know, it's really cool. I like that kind of stuff. Especially for the first Subnautica game, that early access phase was really weird in a good way. It was, there's, you know, they cut a lot of stuff out of the game that I kind of miss. I miss the terraformer. I get why they couldn't keep that in, because it was literally, you know, changing the world as you play. So it makes sense. But there's, you know, it's just interesting. It's cool to see all the changes, all the development throughout the life cycle, and it's like a multi-year early access life cycle too. So there's a lot of changes going on. But yeah, that's the end of the second devlog. I'm excited to see some more from that. But let's go ahead and jump into the Q&A and talk about some things that I wanted to go over in that.
Hello Subnauts, I'm Donya, the Community Manager for Unknown Worlds.
And I'm Scott, or you might know me as Abraxas, the creative producer.
Hey, Abraxas, he commented on my last video. How's it going, my guy? Appreciate you coming to the channel and checking it out. I really appreciate that they're going out and like reaching out to the community. I think that's really cool. I like that.
Is there multiplayer or co-op?
Okay, here's
in
yeah.
Subnautica 2?
I think this
Donya?
is something.
Yes. So while Subnautica 2 is being crafted as a single-player experience,
There we go, yeah,
you
that's-
can optionally
that's,
play it in cooperative multiplayer with up to 3 friends. So
Okay, cool. So it is it's 4-player co-op. I don't know why. I originally thought it was going to be just 2-player co-op. But 4 is cool. Not that I have even one other person to play this with, but that's besides the point. I wanted to go over that what she said. It's being crafted specifically for single player, but it's able to play in co-op, which I think is really good. I think a lot of games that do the single player and co-op route, they make the game, they try to focus the game more on co-op so you can play it with other people. So when you play it solo, it doesn't really work as well. I like hearing this, that they're crafting it specifically for solo, so it means that even if you don't have anyone to play, you know, obviously like me, if you don't have anyone to play it with, it's gonna be completely fine and just like a normal experience on its own. But it'll be even better. It's not gonna be worse than co-op, but co-op will make it better because you're playing with other people. So I like hearing that it is a solo focused game, you know.
How much will it cost, and is early access free?
So like Subnautica and Below Zero, Subnautica 2 Early Access will be a paid experience.
Okay,
If you
is it
are
gonna
an
be-
Xbox Game Pass subscriber, Early Access will be available on day 1.
Ah, okay. So I'm still gonna buy it anyway on Steam. I do also have Game Pass. I'm gonna buy it anyway in Steam just to, you know, support the devs, because why the fuck not? But this is cool. It's coming to. I mean, it makes sense. They've obviously talked about Xbox already, but Game Pass Early Access day 1. That's interesting. I like that.
As for how much it will cost, we
Yeah, I
will
wanna
be
know
announcing
this.
that at a later date.
Okay.
But please keep in mind that our early access price will be lower than it will be at full release.
So, okay. Is it gonna be the same thing? I don't remember if Below Zero was like this. I know Subnautica 1 was like this because that's how I played it. You bought it in early access, and then once the full release came out, you just have it still. Like, you don't have to re-buy the game. Is that how it's gonna work here? Is that what you're saying? That if you buy it in early access, it's gonna be cheaper than if you were to just buy it full release? Because if that's the case, that's kind of cool too. I like that. I am wondering if they're not saying the price because it's gonna be more than the previous games, which is a little concerning. It's making me a little nervous. I feel like if it's gonna be the same price as the last 2 games were, why not just say that? But, you know, all right. I was hoping for a good, you know, like $30, maybe $40 price tag, but I'm, you know, 50, 60, I'm fine with that. 70 asking a little much, but, you know, you do what you gotta do, I guess.
Where's the setting? Is it still set on planet 4546b like the original games? What do you think, Dom?
No. So Subnautica 2 is actually set on a brand new world with all new mysteries, creatures, and experiences. So while you won't find the same things that you found in Subnautica or Below Zero, you will have some of your favorite tools, but improved.
Okay, so interesting. I mean, we already knew that it's not on 4546b. We already knew that, of course. But it's like I think I might have talked about this during the first dev vlog as well, but my thinking is it's got to be like a neighboring planet, right? It's got to be like within the same solar system as 4546b, because it's another water world that looks relatively similar to you know, the main world we play on. I say similar. It's not really. It really doesn't look that similar. I feel like it's just the alienness of it and the fact that it's a water world that makes it similar. But still, I feel like it being a water world has to have some impact on like the distance from or like the closeness to 4546B, right? I don't know. Maybe they found that planet, you know, good old Riley found that planet, brought him back to Altera, and then Altera was like, hey, let's explore the rest of that solar system. So we're just in, you know, we're just in that area of the galaxy now. I'm interested to see if we get any lore like that in the game, telling us like how far away we are from 4546B, or if we're like right next to it or something like that. I'm interested to see if we get anything like that.
Okay, here's another big one. Will it support mods?
This is another big one I wanted to talk about.
With VR support right now, our focus and efforts are on making Subnautica 2 the best possible game and experience it can be for our players.
And I appreciate
our
that. Our
studio was formed from a Half-Life mod called Natural Selection. So whilst we appreciate and respect all of the work our modding community do, official modding support during early access isn't something we're planning for.
During
we are excited to see
early
what the
access
come up with during that time anyway.
Okay, so there was I have notes written down from when I watched this, and they're very vague. So I thought there was more being talked about in that section than there was, but I do still want to talk about that, the whole mod support thing. Obviously, you know, we have mods for Subnautica and Below Zero. You have like Nexus mods. I don't know if there are other websites that support mods like that, but I've definitely played both of those games with mods before, and the mods are good. But I think the way they're talking about official mod support makes me think of like Fallout 4, where they have like the what is it, the community creation, something like that, the like the quote unquote official mod support, where it's just instead of going to a website and downloading these mods to put into your game, you're going in game to pay for the mods and then put them in the game, which I'm not super excited about if they go that route. I don't think they will. I have faith in Unknown Worlds. I don't think they're gonna do a Bethesda, but I just the phrase official mod support to me just screams Bethesda, and it's not a great thing. The fact that they said they're not doing official mod support gives me hope, but he also said during early access, so maybe that might mean sometime after full release they might. I don't know. I could be thinking about official mod support completely wrong. That might not be what that means, but that's just the first thing that I think of, so there's that.
We're aiming for this to be the biggest and most exciting Subnautica game ever once we hit 1.0 in a few years' time.
I think it will be. I'm just saying, based on everything that we're seeing so far, this definitely does seem like the most ambitious Subnautica game that has been made so far. I'm wondering if there's gonna be like voice acting and stuff like that. Because obviously Subnautica 1 didn't. You play as Riley, the silent protagonist, but Subnautica 2, or Below Zero, did. You play as Robin, who talks a lot, so I don't know how that's gonna go, because the whole, you know, well, I don't think they talked about this yet. I think that's something else that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, there it is. Character customization. You can make your own character in the game, which is cool, but let me finish,
and how would you
okay, that was it. Oh, the vehicles, yes. I want to talk about this too.
With vehicles, and we've had a lot of people reach out about the Cyclops and Seamoth and even the Sea Truck from Below Zero. What do you think, Donya? Are they going to show up in Subnautica 2?
So we know how beloved and iconic the Cyclops and Seamoth are. We've heard and read all about your love and appreciation for them, and we love and appreciate them too. But while they won't be returning for Subnautica 2,
okay,
we're working on new vehicles that are designed in the same
spirit. Well, I would hope so.
Just more suited to the brand new environment they need to navigate.
And we did already see one of those, like the little mini sub from the first devlog, which looked interesting. It looked pretty cool. But I'm excited to see what other vehicles come out for early access.
So a big sub won't be ready for the start of early access. Know that
for
the
start
team is hard at work behind the scenes crafting.
Okay, so it's gonna be like just like a Seamoth thing. We're not gonna have like a big sub like the Cyclops, at least at the beginning of early access, like she said. So we still might get it at some point in early access, but yeah, we're not gonna be getting one of those big subs right at launch, I guess.
So at early access launch, you'll be able to select from a handful of pre-designed characters, but we do know how important it is, especially with multiplayer, to have some freedom to express yourself as your character. And while that won't be something that we'll be introducing early on in the early access journey, it is something that we're keeping in mind.
Okay, cool. So something else that is not coming out right at launch, but will still be in there during early access is the character customization stuff. And I'm assuming, you know, once the character customization releases, they're only going to be improving it. So I'm sure it, like, at first, you know, obviously it's going to be early access. It's going to be the first time they do character customization like that. So there's not going to be, it's not going to be great at first. So I wonder what route they're going to go for character customization. Like, are they going to do kind of like the Cyberpunk thing where there's only like a few options here and there? Or are they gonna do like full on, you can change like Fallout style stuff where you can change like the shape of your cheekbones, the size of your forehead, all that stuff? I'm wondering how they're gonna go about that, because I'm curious, or I'm excited to create a very lovely looking character, just like I did in Oblivion, to make this to play this game.
We're focusing on all of the amazing moments that the power of player discovery can deliver, as well as creating the atmosphere that provides the same sense of awe as diving in for the first time did. We're also returning to having a silent protagonist in Subnautica.
Oh, okay. So I guess I just completely forgot about that when I watched this for the first time. So there's not going to be voice act, at least for the protagonist, there's not going to be any voice acting. We might still have, well, we are still going to have like the PDA stuff, obviously, I think. And like the voice logs, like the data we collect and stuff like that, the old well, I don't know. Are there going to be stuff like that? Because, I mean, obviously we don't know anything about the lore for this game yet, but it looked like in the second devlog, they were putting ship scrap, you know, ship pieces on the ground everywhere. So maybe there was another big crash on this planet or something, or maybe there have been other people that have come here and left stuff behind. So maybe we will get other old PDAs and stuff like that. But yeah, return to silent protagonist. I think that is a good choice. I didn't love Robin. I didn't necessarily dislike her that much either, but she did talk a fucking lot in Below Zero. I loved Alan. Alan was my guy. He was my homie. Bring back Alan. We need a sequel to Below Zero. I want to see what happened to Robin and Alan. But that's besides the point. I'm going off topic. But yeah, there we go. Another silent protagonist.
That doesn't mean that we won't have the opportunity to showcase some amazing voice acting in PDA entries and in
Okay, maybe I should just let the video play.
So let's wrap things up. We want to thank you, the community, for joining us on the journey towards Subnautica 2 Early Access.
I want to thank you for making the game, because I know Subnautica Below Zero, I feel like gets a lot of shit. It's not a bad game. It's really not. My biggest complaint about Below Zero is just the sea truck. I feel like the world, the environment, even Robin, I did say Robin is a little annoying to me, but I still like her as a character. Obviously I said I like Alan. Below Zero is a good game, but there's just, it's really hard to beat the original. It is really hard to beat the original after how great that game was. So I'm excited to see how Subnautica 2 goes. I really am. Well, there we go. That is gonna go ahead and do it for the Subnautica 2 news today. Went over the second devlog, a bit of the Q&A, and I think we got some good information out of it. I am excited to see what other devlogs come out. I'm excited to see what other, I don't know, if they do more Q&As, stuff like that. Oh yeah, I saw this too. Subnautica, the original, is on mobile now, so that's interesting. I mean, there's not really much to say about that. It's Subnautica on mobile, so cool. But yeah, like I said, I'm super excited to see what else they give us. I'm super excited to see what other news, what other updates we get, and I'm also just in general excited for the game. Of course, there's still no date for it yet though, so we don't know when it's coming out, but as soon as it's coming out, I will be playing it day one when early access comes out. Hopefully we get a date sometime soon, because I really want to know when it's coming out. I really want to know when it's coming out, man. But I get it. Take your time. If it's not ready, don't release it. Don't release I mean, it's early access, of course it's gonna be unfinished, but don't release something you're not happy with. We need something good, all right? I trust you guys. Unknown Worlds, you've been really good to us in the past. I trust you, so keep that trust going. Alrighty, so I want to go over all of this since it literally all happened as I was editing this video. And I figured I might as well just put it in this one instead of making 2 separate videos for it. But I want to talk about the whole like leadership change stuff at Unknown Worlds. I figured I might as well, since we're already talking about some Subnautica news. I think this is, you know, pretty important. So as you can see right here, Crafton, which is the company that owns Unknown Worlds, they just released a statement saying that they have changed leadership at Unknown Worlds. The original team, who consisted of the original founders of the company of Unknown Worlds and original creators of Subnautica in the first place, Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire, they were all removed from Unknown Worlds and replaced by one single person, which, I don't wanna, I'm trying not to play sides here. I wanna try to keep this as like on the fence as possible, as like neutral as possible, but I have to throw in some of my opinions. I feel like that's not the best choice. I get that this new guy, Steve, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name because I don't wanna fuck it up. But this new guy, sure, he has, you know, a few decades of game development and like, you know, other stuff of, you know, being in a company like this. He's got a bit of time under his belt, but like the thing is, everything he's known for, at least most of like the big things that I could find that he's known for, he's been the producer for. And to my knowledge, I mean, it might like differ slightly like between companies or something, but to my knowledge, producers are the like time management people of the company. They're the ones that try to make sure that everything's on schedule and out when it's supposed to be. They pretty much look over like the entire project, but they're not involved in the actual like development of the game. They're just the ones trying to make sure that the games get out. So that doesn't really instill a whole lot of confidence in me that they replaced 3 of the most important people in that company with someone to just make deadlines, basically. Then again, he's not producer. Well, I don't know what he is for Subnautica 2, but at least for Unknown Worlds as a company, he's the CEO of it now. So I'm not sure what that means, you know, in relation to development of the game. I don't know if he's, maybe I should find that out. Is he like working on the actual game? So yeah, I can't really find anything about him being like, you know, the producer or maybe like director or anything for the game itself. It seems like he's just the CEO of the company now. So I am not exactly, again, I'm not exactly sure what that means for like the development of the game itself, but I just think it's interesting. I just think it's a little interesting that they decided to replace the creative and technical director along with the original CEO with someone whose previous experience in the gaming industry was just being a producer. And I'm not saying that all producers are bad or that their job isn't important or anything like that. I'm just saying that from what I've read, producers like to rush the games that they're making. Maybe not necessarily rush the game, but if there's already a release date and maybe the developers need more time or something like that, the producers might not want to delay it and will just try to get it out when it's supposed to get out. Which, to me, like, yeah, sure, people are gonna be upset if Subnautica 2 is delayed, but I feel like a vast majority of the actual fans of the series and people who are anticipating the game are not gonna be that upset about it. Sure, it might be a little like, oh, okay, you know, it's gonna take a bit longer, but they're not gonna be like throwing riots in the streets or something like that. It's gonna just be like, okay, hey, take your time with the game. If it's not ready, it's not ready. I get that it's coming out in early access. It's not supposed to be finished yet. I get that, but there's a certain level that they want to get to in early access before it's released. They can't just release a buggy, unfinished mess, even for early access. There's no point. I know earlier I said I was going to try to be like a little unbiased and kind of neutral, but I'm You know what? Fuck that. I'm just throwing my opinions in there. These are all opinions. All right. No, like, I'm not saying anything as like fact or whatever. This is just me, just talking out of my ass, basically. I don't think it's a great idea, just me personally. I think they should have kept the main people. Sure, like the main 3 guys at this point in Unknown World's life, they probably weren't as, you know, hands-on as they used to be originally, back when, you know, the first Subnautica came out, I guess. But they were the ones, at least Charlie and Max, who created the original idea of Subnautica in the first place. So why replace the people who know the game better than anyone? Unknown Worlds did release a letter addressing the change, and we'll be going over a few things in that a bit later on. But something they mention in it that kind of ties back to what I was just saying is this right here. They're saying when it comes to Subnautica 2, the team that's been working on the game day to day over the last few years remains completely unchanged. So I get that. The people who are actually working on the game constantly, continuously, the ones who are putting the time and effort, not saying that the other 3, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the other 3 weren't, but they were also, you know, they were doing what Steve is gonna do now. They were running the company, basically. They were the CEOs, the founders of the company and everything. And again, sure, I'm sure they probably did have some stuff to do with development as well, but it does ease me a little bit that they're saying that, you know, the people who are actually working on the game, none of that has changed. So it's gonna be the exact same people making the game that always has been. It's just gonna be under some different direction, I guess. Before we dive into the rest of that Unknown Worlds letter, I do want to go over the Crafton announcement about the change. They released this a day before Unknown Worlds released theirs, so I do want to go over this one first, and one of the biggest things I wanted to mention was this. There is nothing more important than the gamer experience. Given the anticipation around Subnautica 2, we owe our players nothing less than the best possible game as soon as possible. We're thrilled Steve is joining us in our shared commitment at Crafton and Unknown Worlds to deliver Subnautica 2 as a more complete and satisfying entry into the series, one that truly lives up to player expectations. This isn't too big of a red flag, but the nothing less than the best as soon as possible is a little alarming. As soon as possible, if it's not ready, don't release it. You don't need to push something that people aren't gonna be happy with. And believe me when I say, if you push something that's not ready, people will not be happy with it. Just look at Cyberpunk whenever that came out. Look at even Callisto Protocol when that came out. People were not happy with those games when they came out, me included. I wasn't happy with them. Again, I have played Subnautica. I have played Cyberpunk since then, and it is a great game now. It really is. They have fixed a lot of it, and Cyberpunk is a really good game now. But I don't know about Callisto Protocol. I've heard mixed things about it. I don't know what to think about that game, and I don't really feel like playing it, so I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty much the only thing I really wanted to talk about in the Crafton announcement. Okay, so going back to the Unknown Worlds letter that they released, I wanted to go over this paragraph right here. We're also supporting Steve as he transitions into his role as CEO at Unknown Worlds. He's already expressed his excitement to check out everything we've been working on. So, alright, to me, if you're becoming CEO of a company, I feel like you should already know what that company is doing, right? The fact that they're saying that he's excited to check out what they've been working on, to me, that says that he might not know what's going on over there. So I'm concerned about that. Maybe I'm overthinking that a little too much. Maybe he does know, but just based on that sentence alone right there, it doesn't sound great to me, but again, I might be overthinking that a little bit, and is diving into supporting our ongoing vision and journey into releasing Subnautica 2 Early Access. Okay, just basic stuff. But yeah, that was like the big thing in that paragraph right there. It's just, I feel like he should already know what they're doing. Like, obviously he knows they're working on a game, like, so he knows what the game is, but I don't know if he knows anything about the development yet. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, and then this paragraph right here goes back to what I was just saying. While we work closely with Steve and get him up to speed with all the amazing work the team has already done on Subnautica 2, we also understand that it means we'll need to ask you to remain a little patient and support us as he comes on board. So again, that goes back to like, I feel like he should already know at least some of what you guys are doing, right? An update to our schedule and more information, including early access timeline, will be coming soon. Okay, that's cool. That's interesting, or that's good information. One final thing we want to address, as we've seen some additional concerns about it. Nothing has changed with how the game is structured. It will remain a single-player first experience with optional co-op multiplayer. No subscriptions, no loot boxes, no battle passes, no microtransactions. So, coming from the company, the developers themselves, I'm glad we got that information, because I feel like Krafton as a company, I don't know them a whole lot. I know they've made PUBG and some other games like that, which have a shit ton of microtransactions in them, so I don't trust that a lot, but this statement coming from, you know, Unknown Worlds themselves, that gives me a little more confidence. We want to thank you, as always, for your incredible support and enthusiasm for Subnautica 2. We've seen so many of your messages and well wishes for the studio and development team, and we're all incredibly grateful for everyone. Keep diving. All right, so here's my whole thing. I've already I'm not gonna go over everything that I just said, but I want to mention this at the end. I trust Unknown Worlds. I do. I really trust Unknown Worlds. In general, I do not trust publishers. Most of the time, I feel like the developers, the actual devs themselves, are, you know, they're good. They're doing it for the game. They're doing it for, you know, the people who like the game. But it's the people who are overseeing it, the people who are managing everything, that are most likely making the bad decisions. And I don't want to say anything super negative about Krafton, because again, I don't know much about them, but I do know that a lot of other games, a lot of other development teams have been like bought out or sold to bigger publishers, and their product just gets completely fucked. I know Krafton has had Unknown Worlds for a while, so I'm not super concerned about them. I think I'm more concerned about the decision to let go the founding members of the company and replace them with one person who is only, maybe not only, but mostly only been a producer in stuff before, which again, I don't know a whole lot. I'm not a developer. I don't, I'm not a big company like that. I don't know how all this stuff actually works. I'm basing this off of the limited amount of research I did on Google. So yeah, I don't really know what else I can say. I think I've said all I really need to in this. I'm a little concerned, but again, I have faith in Unknown Worlds. I trust that company specifically. I trust them. I trust that development team. So I don't think Subnautica 2 will be bad. I just don't. I don't think Subnautica 2 will be bad. I think there may be issues with it because of like maybe the publishers or something like that. I don't know for sure, but I guess only time will tell. We'll get some more updates soon, hopefully. And yeah, I think that's really all I have to talk about these little updates that we got about Subnautica in the past few days. But yeah, I'm super excited for that when that comes out. And yeah, that's gonna go ahead and do it for Subnautica 2 today. If you guys enjoyed and you're excited for some more news in the future, you can let me know by dropping a like and smashing that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.